I can't imagine riding a fucking bull. That was one times on Fear Factor where I told the producers don't do it. But I go, dude, don't do this to these people. And the fucking the stuntmen are some of the hardest dudes you will ever meet. Those dudes are not worried about broken bones. They break them all the time. They're not worried about shit. So they're not worried about themselves getting injured. They take precautions. You know, they're professional, but they're definitely not worried about these fuckers getting injured either. They don't want them to get injured, but they'll put them in danger. Yeah. And I was like, these are fucking bulls. And the stunt guy, he was hilarious. He always had a dip in his mouth, and he was on set so often that he stopped spitting his dip because he couldn't like carry around a cup, so he just started swallowing it.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
That kind of dude.
Yeah.
And so he was like, don't worry, boo, they're stunt bulls. I go, they're stunt bulls. I go, does that bull know he's a stunt bull? I bet he thinks he's a fucking bull. I bet he has no idea what a stunt bull is. Yeah. And the stunt bull is like a less aggressive.
For sure. Yeah.
That thing was aggressive as fuck.
I call like the one I have, he would be like my bucket list bull. Because like if somebody just wanted to get on a bull for the hell of it, like I would put him on this one black bull. We call him Trunk. He just jumps and kicks around there. And he's kind of predictable. And he's not mean at the end of it. And then we've got some other bulls that, you know, will get it on in the gate and then be mean and might try to kill you. But I imagine, I vaguely remember the show, and what I remember about it, it would be like something probably a notch or two above Trunk, like my bucket list type bull ride. Like if you were to get on a bull, I would put you on Trunk.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I'm so not interested in that.
Right.
They don't want me on there. I don't want to be on there. We got a relationship that way. We got a good agreement.
You know, because there are some precautions you can take to minimize risk, but there's always risk.
Yeah, you might get kicked.
Yep, stepped on.
You might get stomped. You get stomped by a bull. Like, good Lord. Have you been stomped?
Oh yeah.
What does that feel like?
I broke a lot of bones. Like this, I broke my sternum, like, you know, getting kicked, you know, stepped on in the chest. Oh. That one's pretty bad. But a lot of the worst ones would be like concussions. Those are the ones that'll stick with you. You know, those bones will heal, but the concussions will kind of, you know, that CTE, that's something that's not measured in rodeo.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You get some guys that all of a sudden start getting knocked out, just they can think about getting jerked down and it might knock them out.
Yeah, that gets sketchy, right?
Yeah.
When their chin goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like fighters. You get knocked out too many times, and you get knocked out really easily. It's very spooky to see. When I see it in fighters, it makes me very concerned. Like sometimes you got a guy who's just maybe had just too many fights, and they used to be real durable, and then you see him get dinged once, and you see like instantly the legs go, and you're like, oh my God, he barely got touched. Yep. And he got rocked.
Yeah, and there's just, I'm sure with fighters too, there's just this, once that sport grabs a hold of your soul, it's so hard to let it go.
And it's the most exciting moments of your life is winning and competing. And that high is so high that regular life seems like a dull gray. Yes. And I think it's very hard for them. And it's also hard for them because their identity gets wrapped up in being a fighter. A lot of my friends that have retired, they really struggle like trying to figure out who they are afterwards, and then they entertain one more fight, and it's like, but they don't really want to fight. They just want something that makes them excited again. I'm so used to seeing people just busted open, their fucking eyelids hanging off their face, and they're like, "Don't stop the fight, let them fight." You know, you're so used to seeing guys that probably have a broken hand because they haven't thrown it in 2 rounds. You're so used to seeing guys get fucked. I've seen so many guys. I've seen like 4 guys have their legs snapped from checking kicks now. You see so many injuries.
Yeah.
I get so desensitized seeing people just getting fucking knocked into another dimension with a head kick. It's so normal.
I rodeoed with a guy. We went together for years. Ross shared. He was a Marine, so he came back from Iraq and started riding bareback horses, and he got jerked down into like a pipe fence and just like crushed his face. Oh. Like had to like surgery and he just never knocked out, just like stood up. And he's this little stocky, you know, Marine, you know, like door-to-door Marine. And he just like walks out and is like, I'm going to go down here to the hospital. Just blood everywhere, broken eye socket, broken everything. And, you know, we helped him. And, but it made me think, like I feel like I've seen quite a bit of injuries with the rodeo arena, but I can't imagine guys like Ross or even Tim,
right,
who have done MMA and been to Afghanistan.
Yeah, that's a different level of seeing people get fucked up.
Yeah, watch somebody come out without an arm, not just an arm broken.